Hello everybody, Elias5891 here with another KTANE module tutorial. This time we are covering the Rubik's Clock module. Scroll up. If you listen real close, you can hear the module actually moving itself, doing some shaking. You can also see the case shaking there just a little bit at the end. So this module does have kind of a built-in, hey, I'm here, pay attention to me, at the beginning, which is very nifty to have. It's a very useful thing sometimes. So let's look at this one. We have a Rubik's clock. That's what the diffuser sees. You've got 4 clickable pins, and you've got 4 turnable dials, which can be turned clockwise or counterclockwise. You have a reset button and a turnover button, which flips the clock over. And the goal is to get all 18 arrows to point up. All 18 arrows to point at 12 o'clock. How do we go about doing this? Well, that's mostly on the expert. So let's take a look at what they've got to do. First, they're going to pick an instruction on a table based on which clock is lit, big square, and which pin is lit, small square. We'll go over that in a second. We're going to skip that for a second. Then they're going to have some modifications. For the first iteration, for the first stage, the first 4 characters of the serial determine the action and amount of your first change, and then the action and amount of your second change. So, scroll down here. Let's look at our serial number. It's 2S5WX3. So 2S is going to give us 2 for an action, S for an amount. Now let's switch color. And then 5W is going to give us a different action and amount. So we're going to do both of those things after the first stage. And then every stage afterwards, we're going to move down 1 square for each of those little things I highlighted. So in the next stage, my green ones would be treated as being here, and my red ones will be where my green ones currently are, and so on and so on. So, what do we do with this information? Well, as the diffuser, you're going to tell the expert which clock is lit, in this case it's center, and which pin is lit, which is bottom left. So as the diffuser, I would say center, bottom left. So on the instructions here, you're going to find the center block, the center big block, and take the bottom left. That's kind of our starting point for this one. Then we do the 2 modifications it wants us to do. It wants us to move big squares down equal to the number of AA batteries plus 1. Well, how many is that? 4 batteries and 2 holders means all the batteries are AA, so we've got 5 AA batteries. So we're going to we got 4 AA batteries, so we're doing 5 because we add 1. So we're going to move 5 big squares down. When you go off the board, you kind of loop back around, kind of like double O. So it would be 1, 2. Notice I'm keeping the same relative position. 3, 4, 5. So this is where we're currently at here on this square. That's after my first modification. And then my second modification, the green one, move X small squares to the left, number of lit indicators plus 1. Lit indicators have stars, so I've got 2 of those, FRK, MSA. So that's 2 plus 1 is 3, so I'm going to move 3 small squares to the left. So 1, 2, 3. So this is my final position. So these shifts just basically move around these instructions or maybe modify them slightly. Well, what do these instructions mean? As it says here, the top 2 arrows indicate which pins to toggle. The bottom tells you which gear to rotate, and the number tells you how much to rotate it. Usually you just read it out like this. So this would be top left, bottom left, which tells the diffuser, click the top left, click the bottom left. And then turn the top left 3 counterclockwise. So notice it's pointing at the top left. 3, the little line means counterclockwise. So 3 counter. 1, 2, and notice the lights when I do the third one, they change. When you have successfully done a stage, it will go ahead and light up new lights. So that is a way you know you did a stage correctly. Let's go ahead and after every stage, You turn the clock over, and then we repeat the process. This is now stage 2. So we're going to move the blue, the green, and the red down, like so. So we'll have the diffuser tell us top center, this big square, top left, this little square. Modifications, move x small squares to the left, where x is the number of lit indicators plus 1. We said that number was 3, so we're moving 3 squares to the left. That's going to put me here. Here. That works. And then the other rule, add x hours counterclockwise, where the number is the number of batteries plus 1. We have 4 batteries, so that gives me a number of 5. So we're going to add 5 counterclockwise. So we're going to do top left, top right. Top right. Turn the top left. It would be 6 clockwise or 6 counterclockwise because they're the same. But we're adding 5 counterclockwise, which makes 11 counterclockwise or 1 clockwise. So we need to go 1 clockwise. Easy peasy. We flip it over, we do it again. We're going to slide these down yet again. When you get to the bottom of this, it does loop back up to the top. So my greens become here. My reds become here. Diffuser is going to tell us where we start. That is bottom left, bottom right. So we're starting here. We'll do the red shift second because it's talking about moving the hours. We're going to move big squares to the right. Unlit indicators plus 1. We have 1 unlit indicator, that's the IND, plus 1 makes 2, so we're moving 2 big squares to the right. 1, 2. That puts me here. And then x hours counterclockwise, where x is 5. So we're going to add 5 hours counterclockwise. So top left, top right. Move the top left. We were going 1 counterclockwise. We're adding 5 to that. Go 6 counterclockwise. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Thing moved. Turn over for the last stage. Move the green down. Move the red down. Where are we starting, diffuser? Center left, bottom left. Center left, bottom left is here. Move x big squares to the right, where x is the number of unlit indicators plus 1. That gives me a 2, so we're moving 2 big squares to the right. Boop. And then move x small squares down, where x is the number of D batteries plus 1. We have no D batteries, so that's just 1. So we're moving 1 small square down to here. That gives us bottom left, bottom right. Bottom left counterclockwise 3 times, and notice that will finish us up. Now that's a lot of steps. It's really easy to mess it up. So to help alleviate some of that, I will show you one shortcut that I strongly suggest taking. Let's get this one started. Let's get our starting modifiers. One of them is going to be November Echo. November Echo. The other is going to be 6 Golf. 6 Golf. Now, one of the things that we've been doing is we've been telling the diffuser how many times to turn the gear. But if the lights are going to change when we hit the right number of gear turns, why do we care? Let's just turn it till it stops us, till the light changes. So we're not actually going to keep track of how many times we're turning it clockwise or counterclockwise. So let's do this one. Diffuser tells us bottom center, bottom right. That puts us here. We're moving small squares to the right. Lit indicators plus 1. That is 2 total. 1, 2. And then moving back to the left, batteries plus 1, 3 batteries makes 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4 to the left. So we're getting top right, bottom right. Bottom left. Notice I didn't give the 5, because once I hit the 5, the light changed, and a diffuser that's ready for it will just know to look for that. We turn it over. Top left, bottom left. Top left, bottom left. Let's slide these suckers down. Green goes here and here. Red goes here and here. And notice, this makes this one work out very well. My green rules add a number of hours counterclockwise, but we don't care about the hours. We just said we're just going to click it till we're done. Likewise, red is having us rotate the other way, but again, that's just changing how many times we turn it, essentially. So we don't care about either of those rules. So top left, bottom right. Turn the bottom left. Oh, there it is. Turn it over. Alright, center left, bottom left. Let's slide these suckers down again. Green is going to be here. Red is going to be here. Alright, so move X big squares to the right. X is number of D batteries plus 1. We have 1 D battery plus 1 makes 2. We're moving 2 big squares to the right. Boom, boom. And then move X big squares to the left. Left is the number of unlit plus 1. That is 1. So we move 1 left. Puts us here. Top right, bottom right. Turn the top left. Oh, there it is. It changed. You do want to go a little slower clicking them if you're doing it this way, because if you overshoot, you don't know how far you overshot. So be careful with that if you do decide to do this. You'll also notice, maybe, and this was true last time as well, that when we get to this fourth and final stage, this side of the clock is done, and this side of the clock only needs the corners fixed. We'll talk about that in a second. But let's finish this one the way we've been doing them. There we go. We're starting where? Bottom right, bottom right. There we go. Small squares down. Number of indicators plus 1, that's 2. So we're moving 2 squares down. And then small squares up, D batteries plus 1, that's also 2. So we're moving 2 small squares down, 2 small squares up. That leaves us in the same spot. So what do we need to hit? Top left, top right, top left. Done. Okay. Let's do one more this way, and then we'll show you one more shortcut during this one. So again, we'll start by marking error modifications, echo echo, and 3 Romeo. We're starting top right, bottom left, so top right, bottom left. Moving X small squares down, number of lit indicators plus 1, that is 0 plus 1, so that's 1 small square down. And then big squares down, indicators plus 1. We have 2 indicators plus 1 makes 3. 3 big squares, however, is going to loop me back to the same spot because there's only 3 big squares. So there's my go for this one. Top left, top right. Spin the top right. There we go, turning. Next stage. Toggle these off. Change other pins if X is even. Number of batteries plus 1. So that's 3 plus 1 is 4. So that's true. So we're going to invert the pin instructions. It's going to tell us 2 pins. We're going to do the other 2 pins. So this rule is an easy one to get tripped up on. We're going to change the other pins if X is even, which it is. So we're going to change the other pins. Where are we at, by the way? Center right, bottom right. Center right, bottom right. So here, we need to move small squares to the left. Number of double A's plus 1. We have 2 double A's. 3 and 2 means 2 double A's. Plus 1 is 3. Move 3 small squares to the left. Boom. We're changing the other pins, so instead of doing top right, bottom right, we're doing the other two, which would be top left, bottom left. And we're spinning the top left. Okay, turning. The red one is an add hours counterclockwise. We're not worrying about that, so we can skip that. Move big squares up. Unlit indicators +1. We have 2 unlit indicators. +1 is 3. Moving 3 big squares nullifies. We're going to stay put. Where are we? Bottom left, top right. So we need to do bottom left, bottom right. Spin the bottom right. There we go. And now I said I was going to show you a little trick on this last step. This side is done. We turn it over per the rules. This side just needs the corners fixed. Well, here's the thing. If I click these so that they're both all down, that means that I can spin the corners. And it doesn't matter which corner I grab, I'm spinning the corners. So for that last step, you don't even need the instructions. Just lower the pins and then spin a corner until you're done. So we'll do one more. We'll use that shortcut, and then we will wrap up, unless you want to know how to do this solo. For this last one, we have November Zulu, 6 golf, 6 golf. We are starting top right, top right. Moving squares to the small squares to the left and small squares to the right. Both the number of batteries +1, so that's going to cancel out regardless of the number. 1 in this case. So this is actually a really good setup, how they're spaced out like this, because every 6 rules over here, with the exception of the rotate and the add hour, well, not all of them. Several of the rules over here repeat in opposites every 6, and your amount things do repeat every 6. So if you can get these spaced out by 6 and these spaced out by 6, you get a lot of canceling out. So we can actually see this is going to cancel out because we're moving to the left and the right the same amount. The next thing is steps on rotating and adding hours, so we're going to ignore that. The next step is moving big squares to the right and moving big squares to the left by the number of D batteries, so that's going to be consistent. So we don't need to do any modifications this entire time. This is going to be the best, easiest Rubik's clock ever. We're doing top left, top right, moving the top left. Let's turn it over and let's screw up. I've made an error. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know when I turned things. What do I do? The reset button will sort of back up. It kind of doesn't do everything in the exact same order you did, but it will take you back to the first stage. So if, say, you're doing my technique and not actually seeing how many times you need to turn something, and maybe you're like, oh, was it that turn or was it the last turn that did it? Well, assuming your expert's keeping good notes, they can tell you the steps again and go back. So top left, top right, move that one. Next, center, top right. Center, top right. Oops. Center, top right. This is all about rotation, so we don't care. Top left, top right. Rotate bottom right. 3, 4. There we go. Turn it over. Bottom center, bottom right. Again, we're moving big squares to the left and right, but the numbers are canceling out, so we just do top left, top left, bottom right. Rotate top left. And then for the last step, we turn it over, we lower all the pegs, and we twist the corners. All done. And that is Rubik's Clock. Now, I am going to throw something else out there at the end of this. I'm going to show you how to do one without the manual at all, how a diffuser can solo it. That's a little trickier. So if you're not interested in that, this is where we will finish up, in which case, thank you so much for watching. If you have any comments, questions, concerns, or suggestions, as always, leave them in the section down below. And until next time, guys, have fun and don't explode. Now, if you've stuck around, you want to know how to do this without an expert. Goodbye, manual page. That'll work. There we go. Alright, so here we have one. There's lots of different ways to do it, so I'm going to show you the way I was taught to do it. You need to understand a couple concepts about how a Rubik's clock actually works. The idea is any pin that's up kind of connects the corner to any pin touching it. So like if none of them are up, it messes with the corners. But that's because on the back side, all the pins are up and it's moving all the squares. There's a few little sections you need to know. If say you want to move this quadrant, this quarter, these four, you lift the one peg in that corner. If you want to say move these 6 up top, you'd hit the 2 buttons in between them. If say you want to do just a corner, like say I want to do just this bottom corner, you do the other 3 pegs but not this peg. And that lets you turn just the corner by itself. And there's a couple other movements that we may or may not do, but those are the important ones to understand conceptually. So here's the way I like to do them. Let's get this reset. Spin, spin, spin. There we go. Alright. This top left is kind of going to be my starting point. I want to get everything to match this to start. Or I'm going to get things to match this to start. First, I'm going to get this 2x2 section, these 4 to match. I'm going to do that by twisting corners in order to get it to work. So I'm going to get this one here. I'm going to number these. Positions 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So number 1 is the position I want to match. I'm going to get number 2 to match by making sure this is up and spinning this around till it matches number 1, like so. Then I'm going to get number 4 to match by lifting this peg and spinning the bottom left until it matches. Notice these 3 now match. And now I'm going to get the center by hitting this last peg and doing the bottom right. Notice these 4 match up. Easy peasy so far. Next, I'm going to get these 4 to match up to number 6. I'm going to make this whole section line up with what this is. And then I'm going to rotate this corner to match it as well. So remember, to get a corner, that should be the only thing down. And now we've got these 6 matching up top. Next, we get this side. Sides are trickier, so we try to get these a little earlier. To get this side to match everything else, we're going to turn this whole top section, so these 2 are going to be up. We're going to hit this whole top section to match. And then lastly, we're going to get the 2 corners by isolating the corner and turning it. And then we're going to isolate this corner. All the other pegs are up. So now they all match. Last up, we raise them all and twist them so they're all at 12. This side is done. Once that side's done, we turn her over. And this is the part that confuses people more. We're going to fix the edges by twisting 2 sets of corners. We're going to fix 2. We do that by rotating this top left corner until it's where it needs to go. Then we're going to add in the rest of the top row, so the other corner that includes this edge we're fixing. And we're going to turn it back the way we had it before. That makes sure that this corner goes back to where it belongs. And then we go to the second corner, the one that we didn't start on, and we turn it to make this edge work out. A little weird, but we're going to do this all the way around, so it might make a little more sense as we go. So we want to get number 6 fixed. We're going to do one corner and turn it till it works. We're going to do this whole section and put it back where it was, which will fix the first corner. And then we're going to do the other corner until it works. So we're going to do just this top right corner, and we're going to get number 6 where we want it in the up position. We're going to throw in this side, the other corner, and we're going to rotate back so that this corner is fixed. And now we're going to spin this corner until side 6 is correct. Then we do the same thing with side 8. Work on the bottom right corner. We're going to spin it till it works. Throw in this corner and twist it so that we fix this first corner. Disable it and spin this one till we get that corner fixed. And one more time, we get position 4 fixed. We turn. We get the rest of this side. We put it back to fix this corner. We lower this, so we're just working on this corner. We turn it. And that gives us that side. Now notice all the edges are correct. The only thing missing is that center, and if we look at the back side, it's still fine. Last up, we want to get the center, which is very similar to what we just did, only instead of doing, say, side and side, we're going to do opposite corners. So we're going to take this top left corner, make sure it's the only thing we're clicking, spin it till the center's right. We're going to go to the far opposite corner and twist this back around till it fixes this part that was right to begin with. And then we're going to turn this bottom corner till we're done. That was confusing, so I'm going to do that one more time. I'm going to try to explain it a little better, but mostly the same, so as not to confuse. We're trying to match position 1 here. We want to match position 2, so we get the top right corner, or top right peg up, and we twist until we match. Then we do the bottom left corner and twist the bottom left until we match. That gets number 4 fixed. Then to get number 5 fixed, we do the bottom right peg and the bottom right wheel. That's got those in place. Next, and there's a couple different ways I hear to do this. We want to get these two to match. That's really easiest, and I didn't have to do this last time. That's really easy. No, let's do it the way I was doing it before. We want to make these 4 match this. So we raise this up, turn it like so, and then we want to get this corner to match. So we have to raise everything except this corner, like so. Now we have to get 8, this 8 side, so the top 2 pegs need to be up, so we rotate the entire top 2 rows. And last up, the 2 corners. Remember, only that section needs to be down if I'm doing a corner. So that one gets that corner, putting this down, gets us this corner, and then everything up so we can rotate the whole thing to 12 o'clock. Front side's done. Turn it over. Alright, here we go. Fixing number 2. So we'll do top left corner, twist it till 2 is fixed. Do the rest of the top, fix number 1, unclick this, fix number 3. 2 is in the right spot now. Now we'll fix number 6. So we're going to twist it till 6 is in the right spot. We're going to add this peg, twist it back till 3 is fixed. Put that peg back down and twist this until 9 and 6 are fixed. Now we do 8. Twisting till 8's right, raising that one up, twisting until 9 is fixed again, putting that back down, twisting this till these match up. Last one. 4. Stick it back so this is fixed. Rotate like so. And then finally, we want this part rotated in the center, so we're going to do top left corner till it works. Add the bottom right corner, fix it. Bottom right corner alone, finish the job. Now, that takes practice to do, but It does turn this from a expert heavy interaction semi heavy module into a diffuser only module. Now, is that worthwhile to you? Maybe, maybe not. So, something to consider when you're doing this one. Also, once you've done this a few times, certain little tricks, you may see certain little tricks that make some of it a little easier. I'm not going over all of those. I just wanted to get the idea of how you could do it out there. Just because I think this is one that benefits from being able to do it a multitude of ways. But anyway, that really is it for me this time. Uh, so if you have any comments, concerns, suggestions, complaints, anything that I usually say that I've forgotten because I'm tired, I apologize. But if you have any of those comments and such, please leave them in the section down below, as always. And until next time, guys, have fun and don't spend too long on clocks. But have fun and don't explode. Bye, guys.